Okay, I guess we just go on and introduce Opengear to you guys. My name is Dirk Schuma. I'm here with my technical brain, Klaus, and we are going to talk about these devices. Anybody knows what that is, except of Gula in the back? Out-of-band management, perfect, thank you. Come to our table and you get a special present afterwards. No, seriously. So Opengear, I will just talk a little bit about Opengear and where we come from, what we do, and then Klaus will talk about the new innovations, the way we think out-of-band is going to go in the next couple of years, how we are approaching this new strategy, and what you can expect from us. Okay, so Opengear, first of all, sorry, apologize for not speaking Hungarian to you guys. Probably your English is much better than our Hungarian, so we'll keep it like this. So Opengear, just very brief, we are an American company. Both of us, we come from Germany, and we're responsible for a region within Europe, what we call EMEA North. So that starts in the Netherlands, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, all Eastern Europe, etc. We are a small vendor. We are 180 people globally, 70-80% engineering, so very technology driven. And we work around the globe only with partners like Clicko. Clicko is our partner for all Eastern European countries. Because we are just a small team and we cannot handle each and every project by ourselves. So this is basically already our product range, what we have. You see on the bottom, we have the console servers, the hardware, which have a certain number of serial ports, which you connect to your network devices. And we don't care if that's Juniper or Cisco or Fortinet or Arista or whatever you have. We support them all. And the old traditional way was to connect those through the serial management port to our console port, our serial port on those devices. That's been out for, I don't know, 25 plus years. What we realized is, talking to our customers, there is a certain need to expand this connectivity. So what we basically do is, we don't care if you have a serial connection to your network equipment, if you have a USB connection, or more and more requirements come for IP connectivity, so that you have a network device which doesn't have a serial console port anymore, but you still want to remote manage it through our device, and you can still do this using IP. And that's what we're going to focus mainly today. So we have a broad range of hardware, 19-inch, mainly for data centers, between 16 and 96 ports. The same functionality in a smaller footprint if you want to use them more in remote small locations. They all have the same feature set. It's just the form factor which is different. And then you have different options. You can have them with or without cellular connectivity. So you can put SIM cards in them to have a failover from the network ports to cellular. So even if your network is down, you can still connect to our device and then from our device to your network gear. And you can even have a failover from one SIM slot to the other. All our devices have 2 SIM slots, so you could have 2 different providers and have a failover from, I don't know, T-Mobile to Verizon or whatever you have. You can manage those devices individually, so you can access them through CLI or GUI individually if you want, but obviously it makes much more sense, especially if you have multiple of those devices, to have a centralized management platform, which gives you centralized access to the Opengear equipment and to the attached network equipment. Which means, let's say, take an example, you have 50 small locations, so you have 50 small Opengear devices around the country, your headquarters is here in Budapest, and you get a call and somebody says, oh, our network is down, but we don't know why. So instead of going by train or by car or however to that remote location and try to fix it on site, you can access from your desktop, from your office, the Opengear device, connect to the network device, and figure out what the issue is, and hopefully fix it in a couple of minutes rather than hours or even days. Right? That's the entire idea. The centralized management software is called Lighthouse in our case. You can run it on-prem, so in your local network. You can run it on the cloud, on Azure or AWS. The only thing that we don't offer, because most customers don't want this, is a SaaS solution, so that we basically host it for you. What we experience that many companies just want to be responsible for their own network equipment and their own applications, so they want to keep it in their own control, basically. How that works is when you deploy a box, an Opengear box, it always builds a connection to the Lighthouse server through an open VPN. And the device is the endpoint and the Lighthouse is the endpoint. So you don't need a special VPN server or something. This comes all out of the box. The device reaches out to Lighthouse. Lighthouse says, yes, I know you, I want to work with you. The open VPN connection is established, and then all the connectivity goes through this secure VPN tunnel. And it doesn't matter if the connection is through cable, through one of the network ports, or through cellular. They all use the same tunnel. That's important. You don't need to open as a certain number or a big number of ports in your firewall. You only need basically one. Yeah, I think that's it for this, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Okay. So last words from me. I said we don't care how you connect your network devices to the console server, to the Opengear device. It can be serial, it can be USB, it can be IP, and we don't care about the vendors you're using. We support them all. So that's the beauty. Of course, you can say, yeah, but Cisco has its own management tool, or Juniper, or Palo Alto, and yeah, if you want to manage all those individually or separately, you can do that, sure. But with a solution like ours, you get one tool which manages all of your network equipment at one time. And we believe that this is much easier and much smarter to do. So I'll hand it over to Klaus now. He'll give you a little bit more information about especially the IP part of the business and where we are going to, what you can do with a solution like this, what you can expect from it. And if you have more questions, we are still at our table next door. We have a live demo running. We can show you the system, and yeah, feel free to reach out to us.
Okay. Hello to all. Yeah, what I want to bring you a little bit is how our system works in some features, where our journey will go. Since last 2 years, we have set up a new feature in our system. And today I want to just talk about this feature, because that's the part where our journey will go in the next future. Just to jump in, Dirk was saying, my colleague here, about central management. That's the Lighthouse here. We have our remote operator. Typically, since years, we have console access, so there's nothing really special. Really important was, I just jump back, that we have just VPNs. That's a built-in system. You just tell where the system is, the VPN is coming up, and everything goes over the VPN. It's console access, that's local access, everything goes over this VPN. And this here are the errors. This is what we are doing since years. Now we have extended the system regarding customer wants to have more. We see some changes in the market. what I mean. I come a little bit later to this. But now we have integrated, we call it Smart Management Fabric. And this Smart Management Fabric allows the administrator to reach management LANs, not just here, just there, that there. Maybe you have a couple of different LANs. You will have the possibility to use the existing infrastructure with VPNs, and you can integrate these management LANs in our system as well, or we can just share this management LAN to different parts, which opens then for us the configuration tools, which we had before, but now we can automate features, or the customer can automate features which are in the management LAN as well. How does it work? I come a little bit later to this. Just a little buzzword, it's the Smart Management Fabric. Overall is Lighthouse. And then we have a little feature here, Connected Resource Gateway. We'll talk about in a few minutes about this. I have 80 minutes. 80 minutes is a little bit short for all these possibilities, so I just jump here really roughly in the system. You just saw this little box on the left-hand side. As an example, there's one. There's Lighthouse. The connection is done. That's typically what we are doing. There are some other places with the similar boxes. It's not necessary to have this one. All of our boxes works on this way. Now we have the connections to Lighthouse. Everything is good. The administrator has the possibility to jump in Lighthouse, connect to Lighthouse, and now we are able to share the different networks, subnetworks on the appliances. So you can set up a subnetwork on the appliance or more than one. It depends what the capacity is of the appliance. And now we are able to share or to route these subnetworks through our central management Lighthouse. This is a built-in feature. You have just to activate this, tell the system I want to share on site 1 the subnet and the subnet 1 or 2 or whatever it is here. And now you are able to reach from all the subnets to the other subnets. It's just a built-in system. And if you look a little bit deeper in this, now you have the possibility, about the automation, just use your automation tools, management tools like Splunk or Panorama or whatever, and you can reach all the attached appliances on different locations. This is not a huge setup, but it's just a really short time to set the system up. But in the out-of-band manner, that means if your production network, you can do, of course, everything with your production network, but if you have a trouble with your production network, all the connections will go lost, and here on this way, it will still work through the out-of-band management network on a secure way, by the way, because you remember we have a tunnel here to all the systems, and what we are doing, we install a second tunnel in a tunnel to route all the networks here. This is really important to know. And you remember we have cellular as well, and this works over cellular on the same way with the same VPN. Really important to know. So if the network is down or the local network is down, you just have cellular to get access to the whole system. On top, this here was the Smart Management Fabric. So you have this fabric, and I told you everything goes over the Central Management Lighthouse. Now we have added another feature to this Lighthouse by using this Management Fabric. And now we are able to create a catalog, a list in Lighthouse. Maybe you don't see this. It's HTTP, HTTPS, or SSH. And from Lighthouse, from this catalog, you can reach straight away the appliances which are connected to our system. So now we have a LAN-to-LAN connectivity on this way. In addition, we still have the serial possibility as well to get access to them. And as an administrator, you have now a central management system to get access to all the network devices, what you think you have to, you need them available 24 hours. So absence from the production network. Little example why we have done this. We are customer driven. So customers are coming to us and wants to have these features, etc., etc. And now we are going this way. This is a nice example what we have done. Typically, the NVIDIA HGX is a typical number cruncher, but all the modern systems do not have serial connectivity. They just have a service processor. That's the BMC here. And the need for the manager of the system here is the same as the manager who is doing care about serial ports of any network equipment. That's the same approach here. On the management plane, now we can access the BMC as well. BMC, the baseboard management controller, which controls the whole system. Now the administrator is able to use this on the same way as the serial ports here. Phone. Just a little view, how does it look like in Lighthouse. You have installed your catalog there. You have the addresses, and then here is a pure HTTPS access. And from Lighthouse now, you can reach all the target devices, which has, for example, HTTP as here. SSH and HTTP is also available just to get access. And there's a special view on security. If customers have access or administrators to the Lighthouse management system, not everybody should see everything. And we are able now to have a role-based access control on this, to create roles that not everybody will see everything. So you can just limit the access in the system just for security reasons. Security is one of our driver here. On one end, that you will have access to all circumstances to your targets, and secondary here, that we are filter then the target lists for special users. Oops. With, you remember, just jump back for a second here. This one here, from one end to another end, or to the other ends, you will have network access. And here is a typical example with all the, for example, Grafana dashboards, what you have, Supermicro Composer orchestration tools. Now you're able to bring this to all the NVIDIA, for example. This is just an example here. And you know, in an NVIDIA rack, you will have 20, 30 of this HGX included, and they all need to be managed. And this typically happens by automation. And now out-of-band automation on this way. This is just a built-in system. It's nothing which costs more. It's just integrated. Here, again, network resilience platform. The connections with the VPN from the appliance to Lighthouse can end up on this way. This is just an overview what we are doing. I'm outside on the table. I have access to my lab. I can explain this if you want a little bit deeper, go more in details if you like. So that's all what I have. You have something?
Yeah, we have 10 minutes left. I mean, we're not gonna bore you with a lot of blah 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 now, but I just hope that that you see that this is much more than just regular standard out-of-band management that you get from other vendors as well. As you saw, NVIDIA is a huge customer of us. So is Microsoft, Apple, Oracle, all those guys, they have thousands of devices deployed from us. And as I said in the beginning, we are talking to those guys and we are asking them, what do you want to see in the next generation of devices? And basically they came up with this idea of IP management, of automation, to make sure that the guys who have to work with this system are able to spend as little time as possible on this technology and spend their time more on more important topics they have during the day than remotely managing network equipment. Maybe one thing to add is what you can also use this solution for is not only accessing your network equipment if your network is down, but imagine you have 10, 20, 50, 100 or how many devices deployed out there, and talking about Opengear devices or the connected network devices, and somebody comes up with a new firmware release. Like we do, we release 4 new firmware releases at least per year for our devices. And definitely you should keep them up to date because they contain security, features, they contain new feature sets, etc. You don't want to update those devices individually one by one by one by one. This is a total waste of your time as a customer or as a network admin, right? So a solution like Opengear, like Lighthouse in combination with the hardware can help as well. You just deploy the firmware file on the Lighthouse server once, set a scheduler by when you want to deploy the firmware on the single devices, and it's up and done. It's a 5-minute job, and the system does it all automatically in the background. So it's much more than just oops, my network is down, shit, how do I get access to my Cisco router? It also helps you or the network admin during the regular workday and gives them more time for much more important jobs than just updating some network gear with some new firmware. Yeah. He wants me to stop. Okay. So I think there's just one more presentation between you and lunch. Thanks for your attention.